Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carolyn, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Bryla?
Here.
Mrs. Minning? Here. Mr. Platzer?
Here.
Mr. Apple?
Here.
Mrs. Trumbull? Here.
Okay, thank you. I guess I would ask for a motion to approve our consent agenda for the amount of $75,597.42.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda with the $75,597.42.
Okay, do we have a second? Support. We have a motion and support. Are there any questions or considerations? Hearing none, I would ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Minning?
Yes.
Mr. Bryla?
Yes.
Mr. Platzer?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Trumbull, yes.
Okay, citizens wishing to address the board. I guess we'll
Names
just,
and addresses.
oh. I think we'll just take them as they come.
Okay.
Okay. Sally will play.
Why do you put me after Marlene?
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't hear my name.
Dan?
Oh, you didn't hear
Dan
yourself?
Uncle?
Yes.
Marlene needs to get yourself.
All right.
Just
Dan Knuckle goes first. Is that it?
Dan?
Dan, can I have your address?
6040 Wild Rose Lane or 3700 Huron Court.
Okay.
Hey, Dan.
Okay, I have a comment basically, and it concerns what I would consider extreme blight on 3700, not 3700, but at Huron Court. There's a house with a car. The house is literally falling down, and I know this from talking to the neighbors on the street that this has been addressed through petition before to this board, and essentially nothing's been done. I just want to comment as a comparison to that, is I had a neighbor next to me on Wild Rose who had a problem with the angle of how a light was shining through my house. And I was not only addressed by Mr. Brylant when I was up getting a car fixed up at Todd's, unannounced. And then after that, Mr. Apple, the supervisor, I saw cruising down the street, and he actually came to the door and delivered lighting ordinances to us in person about the angle of the light. Now, to me, you've got a house falling down on one street and a light shining in a way that a guy doesn't like it in another area, and the light gets personal attention by two people on this board, and I'm not aware of any attention that this house that's literally falling down and has raccoons crawling in and out of it and has a car that's been sitting there for years on Huron Court. And I'm very curious as to why such attention for one person and not any attention for a whole community up here. That's all I have to say.
Well, if I could address that, that situation up on Huron Court has been addressed, and we can't seem to get anything solved on it. But I can tell you this right now: we have a new zoning administrator and an enforcement officer, and all these things will be taken care of. They're in the process right now in fact, tonight we're going to talk about an enforcement ordinance. We never had what you would call an enforcement ordinance where the township itself can go after somebody, you know, without getting an attorney involved in it and costing the township a bunch of money. And the board, and I'll admit, was lenient on going after things like that. But we have addressed those things, and we just have not had any success in doing it. But I will assure you that with this new ordinance that we're going to put into effect, or hopefully put into effect, that's up to the board yet, but because we're going to look at it tonight, those things will be addressed, and every blight problem in Burtchville Township will be addressed. That's one thing that I can assure you of, that will happen. Yes, ma'am.
The house that he's speaking of, it hasn't been addressed. How will it be addressed? I mean, in which order? Will this be something that will be addressed this year, this month, or
It'll be addressed this probably within the month.
within a month?
Do you have an address for that?
I have pictures.
37.
There's some pictures and there's the address.
Okay, thank you.
There's some
With your
pictures of the
name.
car,
Marlene
the old
here.
car and that's there, and the roof caving in,
Okay.
and the grass is real tall too.
The car stays up there for,
And I'll admit to you that we've been a little weak. We've had problems. We had a new zoning ordinance officer. Well, she became supervisor down in Fort Gratiot Township, so we lost her because she just had too many duties. So in the last, well, what, 30 days, 45 days, we hired a new zoning administrator and zoning enforcement officer. And I can assure you that these things will be taken care of. That's number one, at least that's number one on my priority list, is to get these things cleaned up because they've been hanging around too long. Yes, ma'am.
Sally LaPlay, 3661 Huron Court. I just wanted to add, I'm an attorney, I'm concerned that it's an attractive nuisance. The car door was open and I think children were playing in that rusted out car.
Yes, they were.
And I'm also worried about the children getting into the house. It's not just the animals, there's access all over, and I'm afraid the whole roof will cave in if some kids get in there and play.
the roof
So-
has caved in.
Yeah, the front porch has caved in.
Right.
Well, you can tell them what happened, no one was
Well, the
there.
lady was there, that's.
I don't have any, but I didn't get them.
She was standing, the lady who owns it, her husband owns it, was standing under the porch. Mr. Harris had propped it up with a screen door, the roof. And they moved the screen door and the whole thing collapsed.
The whole thing collapsed.
You know, we're not recalling written complaints on this. Did any of you send in?
Oh, yes.
We told
They've had.
I talked to Mr. Apple
That
on
was
that
stuff
last year.
that was stuff that.
So, all right, so since I still have the floor, so I'm, from a legal perspective, I'm worried that there's a bunch of liability now.
I run kids out of there.
Yeah.
I live right across the street, and
Yeah.
I've run kids out of there before. The kids that come there and visit, like 4th of July and that kind of thing, that visit other people on Haines and here on Court. And they were over there one evening, there's a wild apple tree there, and they were taking wild apples and trying to break the windows out.
And they left the door open, because Bill and I both shoot them out.
I was over there.
Excuse me, Mr. Apple, just point of order, do we have, you were gonna call the people according
Right,
to
we need
order?
names and
Also,
addresses.
the clerk is not really writing down the names and addresses of
Yes,
the
I am.
people and recording things,
I am writing them down.
but as people are speaking here, I
No,
don't see any
no,
writing.
if I don't have a name and address, it's not being written.
Oh,
Carol
okay, so
Wall.
can we go by the list?
Did you
How do you
fill in
spell
that slip?
wall?
WAHL?
Did you fill out a form, Carol?
Yes.
And your address?
3691 Huron Court, right across the street from the residence that we're speaking of. And
Okay.
here's
Okay, thank you.
ordinance forms and a note from the lady that lives next door.
Well,
And I
we did
was-
have problems, and this is part of why we've actually been through 2 zoning administrators in the last year, and we now have one that seems to be what we've been looking for, and aggressive and
Efficient.
Efficient. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited.
We will have our building inspector look at it,
Yeah.
Oh,
probably
perfect.
tomorrow or Wednesday, and then he'll get with
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mr. Riley, and we'll start the process.
Yeah, we can start the process without
It does have to go through
the ordinance that
condemnation.
we're trying to adopt. So what we're trying to do is adopt an ordinance where we have the enforcement powers. Go in, write them a citation, it's a fine, write them a second citation, it's a fine. The third citation, they go to court.
Clarification, the ordinance that you're talking about, is that the one that was passed in 2012?
No,
They want
That's a
to,
whole new ordinance?
yes.
Yeah, this is gonna be a whole new,
And your name?
Jill Dunkel. You
okay.
can use any of his addresses.
Sally, do you have anything else that you want to?
no, I just want to make sure that from a legal perspective, we knew that
Thank
I
you.
was concerned about liability.
Marlene? Garrett?
Yes. I live at 3683 Huron Court. We have another problem on the street. The lady at the end of the street has bushes. We have pictures. They're into the road, and we want something done about.
It's only like a one-lane road, you probably know. You gotta
Yeah,
get over on somebody's lawn or driveway to get through.
We've left her notes several different times in the mailbox, but.
Is she up by Lakeshore Road?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
over
right
in the corner.
Yeah, but she's up towards,
Right on the
you know
corner.
when you get to the top of the hill, from Lakeshore Road to the top of the hill, it's the county maintains that for us. That's part of the county road commission. But she's up top, right?
She's at the
toward-
corner.
Yeah,
Right
she's
at the corner of the
corner.
stop
She-
sign.
yeah.
First time.
And we can't, what happens is when you're pulling out, you can't see cars coming, and when you're going down the street, it's scratching the cars out.
Okay,
You can't-
we'll have the county road commission check.
She had that surveyed, right?
Yeah,
She had surveyed also, Mr. Apple, she was addressed to that problem last year, and she trimmed them a little bit, and she said she will not trim them back to her property line because she owns all the way out to the road.
Well,
I've had this discussion with her.
I'll have the county,
Because,
county man look at that.
to be honest, there's gonna be an accident there.
Okay.
It's accident happening, you know. it's
They'll
like,
trim it
whoa.
right back to the
You
property.
can't
Especially with the golf carts and everything.
Well,
You can't
you
hear
can't
them.
see anything coming from the north. When you
No.
come around, those bushes are as high as this ceiling. You can't see anything. It's very dangerous.
Bill Garrett? Bill?
Everything's been addressed. That's, I was gonna talk about that.
Oh,
too.
okay, okay,
But I'm at 3683.
Okay.
okay.
Bill?
Runus viticatus?
Yes. I want to talk about the 1% tax administration fee that was passed. And there are quite a few questions I have about this. First of all, do we know how much it costs to administer, the property tax situation, the collection?
Jody?
I mean, is it 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 a year?
I don't have a figure, no.
Okay. Well, because you're going to raise, $34,000 in this, and my question is, what if it only costs $10,000 to administer this?
Well, that fund will stay, those monies can only be used for,
I was going to say, it can
Yeah,
only be
they
used
can
for
only
that,
be
so
used
do you expand, your functions to use it up, or?
no.
Well, if there's more, why do the 1%? The law allows no more than 1%, but it doesn't say whether it's 0 or 0.1% or 0.2%. Why not see how much the expenses, if you need the money? I mean, right now, our taxes have been paying to do this and seem to be doing fine, but all of a sudden, we get this $35,000, and so if you have an operating budget or operating amount of 80-some thousand dollars, that's like over 30% increase in.
Well, I think the board felt over the long haul, within the next 2 or 3 years, that these costs are going to escalate, for us to process the taxes and postage and stuff like that. So we don't even have a figure, do we?
No, I mean, revenue figures are down because if you look at interest earned, which everybody should know from their own stuff, in 2008, 2009, their interest earned was $18,000. Last year it was $2,200.
But see, this is addressing the specific.
Well, I understand that, but what we're looking for is, we have to have revenue coming in here. The other figure that's down is because the valuation of the property is down so much, we lose $12,000 in operating income right there.
Okay, yeah, but I understand that, but that's operating income for everything. That's for,
Well,
the secretaries, but not just,
but
this is
there's
just
no-
a tax collection thing.
But there's no mechanism for any other way to do it.
Right. Well, there's a couple other things to think about is, the economy's gonna change and the prices, everything's gonna go up. So, this is not a set fee.
Oh, no, I mean,
This is a
it's
percentage, so
nothing
as the
in,
taxes go up, this is gonna go up too. And so your income's gonna be a lot greater all the time. This is on for perpetuity. I mean, there's no end to this.
no, we can change it whenever we
We
want.
can change it, but I mean, except for right now to
Except for a
continue.
year.
Okay, well, so that was one point. I was just trying to find out how much, so you haven't really figured out how much this
Well,
costs.
I think the way that, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I'm thinking the way the board looked at it is, it's a revenue resource for us for down the road to take care of these costs of things that, and we can only spend it on the taxes itself, so, but.
Well, the other main point that really caught my eye, and then all this other stuff I started thinking about was that, and I talked to Mr. Platzer about this, I should say give you a whole week to think about this. It doesn't cost any more to collect a tax of $1,000 or $10,000 or $5,000 from somebody. I mean, everything's the same. So can somebody on the board explain to me how it's even close to being fair to charge somebody 10 times as much as maybe the neighbor across the street for exactly the same service? I mean, this is a very inequitable tax. Just because somebody in Lansing draws this up doesn't mean, we're not all lemmings that we got to jump over the cliff at one time. I mean, I'd like to see the rationale for that. This is the thing that, I'm up for paying my fair share of taxes, but I sure get upset about unfairness of things. I mean, if somebody could explain it to me.
I have an unrelated thing, but it just kind of passed through my mind. We are subject to this, in this area of Burtchville, this technology bond, where they put the technology in the schools. Now, the school that we had here with the technology that went in was Lakeport. Now, Lakeport's gone now, but it's my understanding, and my wife could probably explain this better than I can, but that the fiber optics and whatnot at the library, our library, are tied to the fiber optics at Lakeport School. So therefore, if they totally pull that out of there, then we might be in trouble with our library, and I also believe Croslex schools are somehow tied into that too. So that's just something to, as an item of consideration as to what might happen down the road. Because I don't know what the plans are for Lakeport School, and I haven't encountered anyone that does yet.
Yeah. Well, I talked to Mr. Woleen about 3 weeks ago, when all this was going on, and we did talk about that briefly, about the hookup for the library and stuff, and he said to me, as long as we have the school, that'll be available. And I said, well, what happens, if you guys sell the school, or it's the same way with our Little League diamonds. We have the same problem there. If they sell that, I mean, we're out of luck with the ball diamonds and stuff too, because and we have a big investment over there in those ball fields and stuff over the years. So, I said, well, maybe the thing to do is, I hope you could guarantee us that if in fact you guys sell the property, that you break off those ball diamonds and at least give us, maybe even give them to us, since we've, been here for this long with those fields. And I felt that they should just maybe break that property off and just donate it to the township. I mean, but I said, at best, I hope that if you do decide to sell that you give us first option at least to buy it, So I don't know, Dan. I don't know where, where we stand with that technology without getting a hold of Ron again and finding out.
Because, you know, one case on our side is that the fact that they closed the school doesn't negate our tax obligation to that bond. So, you know, the thing is, we're still paying for that bond up here, and we're really getting no direct benefit of it. Now they can say, well, the kids are down the street or something, but the fact of the matter, the technology already was in Keewatin and Thomas Edison schools, so that really isn't that good of an argument.
And they didn't wait until we closed the school doors to the children.
There are,
I think that's a subject that we're just gonna have to, you know, address, you know, with the superintendent, and, you know, I don't know that we're getting a straight answer there either, you know, because I don't think they really know what they're doing with it. And that's the sense, when I walked away from our meeting, you know, I felt like the same way as when we went down for the closing of the school. I thought it was a done deal, and, you know, they give you a lot of lip service, but they really aren't telling you anything, you know. So, but I could call Mr. Woolley and get another meeting with him and find out exactly what's happening as far as the technology and all the other stuff goes. I mean, that's the best that I could tell you.
And I'd say we're pretty much in the same boat with our library as Croslex is, you know, with the schools, so that, you know, there's an ally there as far as the township, because we're both subject to problems.
Okay, I will check on that. Roger Scheller.
I want to address the tax collection and administration fee. And I understand that the township has problems with making the two ends meet. I'm talking about the outflow and income. And these are tough times. And when you increase a fee, it's an increase in tax. And they like Runas has said, they make it a 1%, and some of us have to pay 1% on a bigger tax. But the point I want to make is, in tough times, and we are in economic tough times, and I don't think it's necessarily any of our faults, the people in the room, but when we have economic tough times, we citizens, we tax-paying citizens, have to tighten our belts. And we would expect our communities to do the same. That's all I want to say.
Well, thank you very much. And I think, in all honesty, that the township in itself has tightened our belts as far as, you know, our budget goes. I mean, we're really trying to, you know, save money for the taxpayers wherever we can. But I think this fee, you know, was just something that well, the board, you know.
Well, I just want to express the fact that communities have to tighten their belts. If we citizens are economic tough times, and I don't think the problem is primarily local. I think it starts at the top in Washington, and then at the state level and on down.
Absolutely. Thank you. Mr. Evernett.
Yes, this gentleman, I don't think that is a question answered, just to, I'd like to just have that done first, if you don't mind.
They got interrupted by the...
They got interrupted by somebody else. He never got an answer from anyone.
My question was, how, you know, once again repeat it, you know, somebody on the board could explain the fairness of this 1%, once again, where, you know, somebody pays 5 or 6 or 10 times more than the neighbor across the street because they're taxed for exactly the same service. And when, you know, it doesn't cost you any more to collect from one or the other, it's not a fair, equitable fee at all. I mean, if it were a flat fee, everybody's paying for the same service. You go to the doctor, you know, you get a basic exam, everybody's going to be charged the same. You don't get charged 10 times more because your house is assessed 10 times more than the guy next door. I mean, that's totally unfair, and I'm not sure that anybody looked at that. I think this thing was brought down by the tax commission as a suggestion, and everybody just kind of, oh, okay, fine, it's income, we'll jump on it. And if they made a big inequitable decision, on Lansing.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So, but once again, you all are the one who pass it, and I don't know if there's an option. I mean, I don't know, I'm not an attorney, I don't know if there's a way of getting that income, but in an equitable way, like, if you have, I don't know, 10,000, or like, let's say if, I don't know, 1,000 or 1,500 properties.
Well, the way it was
everybody's
presented
$10, per tax bill, that comes out to, 15,000 if that covers all your costs plus.
I don't know that,
And I know we can.
to be honest with you, I don't know that we looked at it from that standpoint that, the higher taxpayer is gonna be paying more money. I don't, we looked at it from the.
It can be 10 times as much. I mean, just
Well,
look
no,
at.
I understand, I understand exactly what you're saying, but,
if you could look into that and see if there are any other options of getting these funds, if these funds are needed.
we could do that, we could do that.
A fair thing to do.
Well, I guess we looked at it from the standpoint of, raising our money to cover the, the tax-based stuff, and I guess we probably, in all honesty, and to be honest with you, maybe nobody, at least it was never discussed at the board.
Well, that was the impression I got from listening to the last meeting, that, it was there, and, it was presented, and, but this is the thing that kind of really struck me, and I thought
well,
it's never too late to look into it and make it equitable, because most people don't know about this. I mean, somewhere along the line, probably with their first tax bill, they're gonna find that out, and, then, all
a few weeks.
Actually, it's my understanding, we've held off on this for years. This has come up every year.
Yeah,
And we've held off as long as we felt that we could, as our costs were increasing. And we were the last, I've been told, I don't have paperwork to confirm this, but we were the last township in 2 counties
See, none of that matters. The
to
point is,
institute this.
if you need the money, let's get the money, but let's do it equitably. That's my whole point. And like I was saying, we're not letting you do it just because everybody else is blindly, okay, let's grab this.
Well, I'll certainly investigate different channels of how, to maybe raise that money, or, and make it more equitable to everybody, across the board.
That's my whole point.
Well, we certainly will do that. Okay, Mr. Abernathy.
I'm just going to read a letter here. You're all aware of, Robert Abernathy is our 8235 State Road, Burtchville. I also represent the Burtchville News. You're all aware of the fact that I operate a website called Burtchville News. I attend and record by video almost all the meetings. The meetings are then posted to the Burtchville News in both print, provided by the clerk in compliance to a FOIA request, and by video recorded during the meetings. I have several issues regarding non-compliance by the clerk of the by the Michigan Open Meetings Act 267 in 1976. Today I only want to address the special meeting dated 5/23/2013. I was notified about this meeting on May 23rd, same day, at 10:27 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that this meeting was to take place at 11 o'clock that day, making it virtually impossible for me to attend and report to the public the content of the meeting. I'm sure the board was notified with a post within the township hall was made much before this time, and this has me a little upset. The Open Meetings Act 267 and 1976, Part 15.265, Sections 1 and Sections 4, I'll give you a copy of this, describes violations that make not just May's special meeting, but all special meetings held in 2013 null and void by non-compliance of proper notice given to the public. I have an attachment on that.
They were posted.
We can discuss that in a moment, if you don't mind. When a meeting is or could be determined null and void, any votes made during that meeting become null and void as well. Certainly, court action must be taken to make a final determination of guilt, but court action is not necessary if a board takes upon itself to undo or redo the unlawful mistakes made. I'm asking the board tonight to take responsibility it owes the citizens they represent and call the meeting of May 23rd null and void on the grounds proper notice required by law is not given to the public. This meeting can be reposted again following lawful procedure and a revote on the issue of raising Burtchville residents' taxes made. I ask that this letter with attachment be included with today's minutes in its entirety. Respectfully, Robert Abernathy and the Burtchville News. Now to address your question, Mrs. Trumbull, the township does own a website, and you do post meetings regularly, meeting minutes on the website.
After they've been approved.
After they've been approved, correct. So you do that on a regular basis, is that correct?
Pretty much.
Okay, and because you do that, the Open Meetings Act requires that you post any special meetings within 18 hours prior to that meeting.
Right.
I sent you a FOIA regarding all the special meetings that happened in 2013. And your reply was, there were no postings made at any time of those special meetings on the website.
Well, that's not correct. They were all posted.
On the website?
No, they're not posted.
They must be
They're
posted.
posted on the door.
They must be posted on the website.
Okay.
That is part of the new law that was passed in 2012.
Okay.
You should know that.
Thank you.
It is your responsibility to know those things. So I'm going to ask you, so that the township, an attorney general, anyone who's interested in signing up, all it takes is a complaint made, possibly an attorney to represent, to get down to Township Hall, or go down to civil court. And the violations for doing this are quite extensive. Actually, if found guilty of this misdemeanor, the fines go up, and there's actually jail time involved in it, if it's warranted. However, I sent you a FOIA that just said, please provide the following: a copy of any email correspondence included any attachments regarding special meeting notices sent to the people or the company responsible for maintaining the township website. You sent back to me there were no meeting notices sent to the township website, as the meetings were called the day before the special meetings and there was not time to post them on the website, which means you did not give the 18-hour required notice to the public, which is required by law.
It was posted on the door, though.
It is also supposed to be posted on the website.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay?
Okay, anything else?
Sure. I would like to submit this, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't fill out one of those slips, but I do have a concern.
Okay, if you'd stand and state your name, please.
Okay.
You can fill one out. Fill one out, though. We'll need one for
Sure,
our
I'll be
records.
glad to do that. Robin Abbott, 7918 Butternut. I came here tonight to find out what has happened with the no noise ordinance that was supposed to have been done last September. They had a planning committee that was going to get together and come up with this no noise ordinance.
Al, could you explain that?
Not really. I don't remember exactly what the decision was. I don't want to say something that's...
Last September, some of the people
that...
attended and they,
Yeah.
and they were told that Burtchville was going to develop their own no noise ordinance. and they were gonna have a planning committee, and twice I tried to attend that planning committee, and they were never here. So I'm wondering, what has happened with the no noise ordinance?
We did some stuff, but I.
To my knowledge, we actually did not work on a noise ordinance, that we went by the county's noise
Yeah,
ordinance.
that's what it was.
We went by the, they decided not to do our own ordinance, and they were gonna, we were gonna rely on the county's ordinance to take care of our noise. That's where we stand right now.
So what is, do you know, what is the county no noise ordinance? What is,
If I can get you a copy of it.
could you?
Sure.
It's almost impossible because of the decibels and all this, all the stuff, it's almost impossible to enforce. And most of it's happening after 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
And the only place you can really call at that time of night is the sheriff's department, and that's what.
And they will not respond?
It's not that they won't respond, but they do that, it's a low priority call, and if they have other things that are going on in the county.
But they were told, we were told they will not respond by a St. Clair County sheriff deputy, that they will not respond.
We were told different by the county. When we looked into it, we were told different by the county, that they would respond, but it's a priority call for them, you know, if it's an automobile accident someplace, they're gonna respond there, they're not gonna respond to a noise ordinance still. And in all honesty, those noise ordinance, because a lot of times by the time people get there to do something about it, the people are gone, you know. That's the problem. It's a tough ordinance to do, so rather than for the township to do that, and we don't have our own enforcing body, you know, we don't have our own police department, you know, to call, so, you know, we depend on the county for, you know, so they decided that that's what they were gonna do. They were gonna, you know, go by the county's noise ordinance.
So is there any recourse for having to put up with hooping and hollering and music playing at 4 in the morning?
All I can tell you is you call the sheriff's department.
That's all you can do?
Well, that in all honesty, that, you know, that's our only sheriff's department, the state police, or, you know.
This isn't happening in the township park.
No.
It's in the residence.
Yes.
Okay, because if it was in the park or something you do, but.
Yeah, no, these are residents who are, and also have installed loudspeakers on their places. These are summer people. They come up, they put up loudspeakers on their place and are playing music all hours of the day and night.
I understand, I really understand it, and I feel bad for you, but, you know, the thing that you need to do is call the sheriff's department.
So there's nothing that can be done?
Well, you know, I could bring it up again to the board, you know, if they wanted to look. They decided that, you know, we've had maybe 1 or 2 or 3 complaints a year, you know, and to do our own ordinance on it. And then, when we do our own ordinance, then we still have to get the sheriff's department to come out and enforce it.
To enforce it.
You know, so I sympathize with you, but I don't know, you know, where to go with it, you know.
I would call and call and call, and then just continue to call.
Ask to speak to the next little while.
And let us know. Let us know. If you're not getting
I've been dealing with this for 5 years on my own, and I'm getting nowhere, and so I'm like.
If you can let us know dates and times that you called and you've gotten no response, we might be able to
You call the St. Clair County Sheriff's
Department.
Okay. So just,
Are we finished, or?
where are those little slips up?
Oh, right behind you.
Right in the cabinet there on the wall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You maybe want to put a phone number down or something on that, we can.
Right.
If we can find something out, we'll get a hold of you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, we'll go to a motion to approve our agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Support.
We have move and support.
One thing, did we switch the library first? I think Jane has to get.
No, I called them and told them I wasn't coming back.
Oh, well.
Luckily, they threw up my.
Okay. Well, we have a motion and a second to approve our agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, department reports. Mark, fire?
I got a quote on a furnace repair or replacement for our unit. And it's under the annual of 5,000, we have to put up 3 sealed bids and all that kind of stuff. The whole job is only $3,200. There's only a sole source, we want to stay with train equipment. There's only one local train dealer. If not, we have to do something in Macomb or Pier. And I don't think we want to have our furnace guy 40 miles away for a train. We have training units outside. We might as well stay with training units inside. It doesn't hurt nothing. I mean, they're a good unit. So I got a quote, and I'm just getting approval to go ahead and get that done during the off season before heating season gets here. Advantage heating for $31.50. That's the A-coil and the furnace.
Actually, we need those ahead of time to review, don't we? Thank you. I don't know that we can approve those tonight, Mark, without having a chance to review them.
I'm just reading
Okay.
the policy, it says the department head does that, so that's why I just did it, and I was pre-submitted. I'm just reading the policy, it just says that you guys already approved, it's already in my budget anyways. You guys told me to go ahead and get the quote, so I got a quote. It says it's a train, there's only one local guy within 40 miles of here that, you know,
And we already did
get that in.
Is that the 90 or 80?
That's a 95 plus. So
It was approved. It was approved.
It was in my budget. I just want to know if it's okay. It's in my budget money. But I'm gonna do the A-coil also, because that'll be the weak link in the system. That's the last thing. It's original, so I want to get that. So the whole bid is $31.50. Paid in material. That's all I need on my report.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Need one, yes.
Does somebody like to make a motion to the fact that,
I'll move to have Advantage Heat replace the furnace on the firehouse side. That's pretty hard to store. $31.50, right?
Yep.
And the other quote was how much?
That's a $31.50 total. It's $23.50 for the furnace, and the A-coil is $800 total.
Well, I thought we had 2 quotes.
No, just one.
Only one train dealer.
Okay.
It's the sole source train dealer, and we have train, everything else.
yeah, everything else will
We
be
try to
great.
do a switch and we'll stream it.
I'll second that motion. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Mr. Violet?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. Platzer?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mrs. Trimble, no.
Motion carries.
Do I sign that contract, or do you guys?
I think Mike does.
I'll just answer you now. One for us, one for him.
Okay, now building department?
The report's in there, what's going on. And we will talk to Tom and Mike this week on here in court.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay. Water department. We're in the process of changing our water ordinance. Water ordinance 96.-1 is in the process of being, we're updating it is what we're doing. Hopefully the resolution needed to update the ordinance will be completed. Dusty is in the process of trimming the weeds around the fire hydrants in the township, and will begin painting the hydrants, so that's in the water department. Jane, library?
The only building issue that we've had recently is with is people coming to us about the hall because the keys that they were given for the door don't open the door. Now, I don't know whether that happened when Matt put the new door in or what.
There was just one key, and we've gotten rid of it.
That's been taken care of. We threw it away. It's
Okay,
gone.
because we had a couple people, and I would think that
Yeah.
key did
The
not.
key is gone.
For some reason, that one just wasn't copied
Disposed
well.
of.
Okay, anything else? Okay. Unfinished business, Old Township Hall renovation.
Well,
Dawn,
it's
you wanna
coming.
Address that?
Coming along, the siding is on the north side, I didn't check the.
They were working on the west
They're
today.
working on the back side of it
Yeah.
right now. I would imagine by the end of the week, they should have that.
I wasn't in there today, I don't know if the covered
I
doors
don't
are
know.
up.
Half of them are out.
Half of them are up, okay.
But the inside is, other than the kitchen part, there, the
It's
cabinets are
pretty much
pretty
done.
well completed.
Other than
And
the
whatever
floor.
you're gonna do to the floor.
And the
Yeah,
floor will
yeah.
be done.
Okay, moving on, Worth Township Fire Contract. I was informed tonight, Mark just told me, that they are gonna sign the contract that we sent them, the addendum that we sent them. They're sending it back for a little tweaking on, as far as they're concerned, on, they are gonna do the collections for us.
They just want to add some verbiage in there that will help them with their collections, with the contract. Whoever their finance guy or someone said, if you put a phrase in there, a certain phrase they wanted added, it helps them when they go for them for their collections.
Right,
So
but in
they're-
our regular contract, this is just the addendum to the regular contract.
Jack called me tonight because I had seen him at church yesterday, and he called me tonight and said there's a phrase that they need added to that to help them with it when they go to collect from their people. And so they're trying to get it done and get it back over here, they didn't make it in time.
Well, they'll send it back to Doug for.
They're gonna do the billing and all that stuff. But
It'll go back to our attorney's
they just need
office,
that phrase added.
and he'll okay it, you know, or he'll look at it.
But we still have the regular contract to complete. That's just an addendum to the regular one.
Well, I think it's both. They're signing.
Well, no, because the regular one states the amount that we charge for standby fees and the fees for the runs and,
I didn't ask that question, so I don't know.
okay.
Well, when they send it back, I'll send it down to Doug and we'll get it. I talked to him last week about it anyway, because if they weren't gonna sign it, we were gonna take it back, and we were gonna redo a contract for them, the whole thing, just to send up there without the addendum, a whole new contract. Because, the past history of what's going on.
Sure.
So. Okay, thank you. New business. Deposit and rental fees on Old Township Hall. We've got a committee set up for that. Al, I just need a person for Tim Parsons. Oh, okay. So I'm going to try to get that put together. This is just a study committee on fees for using the township hall. It's not necessarily written in gold that we're going to charge anything. It's just an exploratory, to see where the general public feels about, the problems that we've been having over there is damage. People come in and they use the township hall, and it's there's damages done to it and stuff like that, and we let everybody use it for free. I mean, if you're a township resident, in the past, everybody has used it for free. But we're thinking now that, rethinking the deal, that we've got a big investment over there now. We've invested a lot of money in it, and we checked with all other townships, and the townships are all charging fees for their buildings. There's a lot of activities, and I told Jane that as far as the activities for the library and stuff goes, that we're not looking at that. And I'm gonna be this head of that committee, and kind of, just, it's really an information committee to find out.
You don't get a deposit even then when you?
No, we don't even get a deposit,
Then you'd have to prove it, somebody would have to prove that they didn't damage it too.
That's right.
Well, what it entails getting the whole, somebody to take care of it if and when, or, if we decide to charge a fee for it or something like that. And it's a wonderful facility. It's a great place for the residents, and not necessarily an exorbitant fee either on it, just something that's going to take care of if we do have to repaint it or we do have to do, and put that all in a fund towards the old township hall, just for the maintenance, and taking care of it. So we're not looking to rent it out for thousands of dollars. We're just trying to protect our investment, really. So we appointed, each board member selected a person to come in, and we're just going to sit down and we're going to hash it over. They can go out and talk to their neighbors and stuff like that, and just get a feel. It's kind of a fact finding committee to see how everybody feels about the fee. And then we'll go from there, so. And we do have our committee complete, so. Okay, moving on, supervisors report. As I was talking earlier, we're working on doing a civil infraction ordinance for our township so that we can handle our own fees. This way it'll expedite a lot of this problems that we're having with getting these things done. It was almost impossible for us to try and get these things solved. So I think this will really help. This will really help that situation. And I just got this today. And this is going to our attorney for their approval. You know, we'll look it over and put his stamp of approval on it. And then we'll vote on doing the ordinance. I don't know if anybody's aware in the township, or I'm sure maybe most of you are aware, we had a 16-year-old in the township that graduated from SC4 cum laude, and I think that we would like to do a proclamation, in his honor, maybe have him at a meeting and, just to, so I think that, and I know St. Clair County is going to do one too. They're in the process of putting one together too. So I think it's Sam Franks, and they're residents of Burtchville Township, and 16 years old, graduated from community college with a degree, a science degree, which is pretty wonderful, really, when you stop to think of it at 16 years old. So I think that we're gonna do a proclamation or some kind of a honoring him for that achievement. If anybody's interested, St. Clair County Green Infrastructure Visioning Session, you're invited to St. Clair County Infrastructure Visioning Session on Wednesday, June 26, 2013, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Atchison Venture Seaway Terminal located at 2336 Military Street, Portia, Michigan. SIMCOG and St. Clair County are developing a regional green infrastructure vision for southeastern Michigan. Green infrastructure is both a network of green space and natural areas in our communities, along with building techniques such as rain gardens, bioswales, that preserve the function of the natural ecosystem to benefit residents of this region. The purpose of this visiting session is to gather input and stakeholders on important natural areas in their county, and discuss what were the additions of green infrastructure could be located in the county. The regional vision has set the stage for future grant opportunities, parks, and recreational plans. The attendees will participate in an interview group exercise on current and future green infrastructure for the county. Keypads will be used to identify important policies and assist communities in implementing green infrastructure recommendation. I thought this is something that somebody may be very interested in the community. I'm going to try to attend. The meeting. It's on June 26th. If anybody would like a copy of this, I'll be glad to run a copy off after the meeting for them. Basically, that's all I have. Carol Ann.
Actually, Mike, you covered everything that I was going to speak on, the infrastructure and whatever.
Oh, okay. Jody, treasurer's report? Trustees report. Cindy?
The only thing I'd like to report is that this Sunday, from 1 until 3, there'll be an ice cream social over at the chapel. It's a fundraiser to help us keep on our track of getting the rest of the building finished. It's a lot of fun. There's, this is last month we had this.
Yes.
Raffle, ice cream, chocolate sauce, strawberries, stuff for kids to, there's a big checkers game and it's just a nice afternoon. So
Okay, thank
you're all
you.
invited.
Thank you. Yeah?
I have a couple things, water related. Roger Sheldon, I can't tell you the exact address, it's on Harris Road, is interested in purchasing water from Burtchville Township to his house. He's not in the district. It's possible that it could be done with a fee in lieu of assessment. He's done these before. I just need to know what he needs to do. He asked me to find out so we can move it forward. He's about 300 feet, this property. I have to pull this off the county thing. It's up at Harrison 25. The water's across onto the west side of the lake shore there. And it's probably about 300 feet to his property line. And then he had like a curb stop out by the road like everybody else, and then he'd take it on back.
Well, I think we get to take it to Dusty on. Okay. Yeah, I think.
All right, I will do that. And that brings up the next question. Had a couple people ask me what Dusty's hours are. Does he got different hours over here now? He's not here at 7 in the morning?
He's here at 7.
Well,
I've been over there a couple times and he wasn't.
Well, he may not be here at 7 because he's doing some fill-in work for Fort Gratiot too,
Right,
so he may be over there from 7, but he's always here by 8.
Right, so then he puts in the extra hour.
Oh, I don't doubt I mean, normally
No.
Dusty was here at 6:30 in the morning.
Well,
Yeah, we talked about that.
You can set your clock by him because I see the truck pull out of the road there every morning.
Yeah.
at, 6:30 usually, so.
Okay, well, I just wondered if the hours get changed.
Okay.
No, he's still.
Maybe on
the same hour.
Tuesday, is it Tuesday that he?
Yeah, but they asked if we could share him with them until they're working on getting a new head of their water department over there, and he's got the license to run their water department, and we're sharing that with Fort Gratiot Township, so. Okay, moving on, extended public comment, is there anybody?
One of the neighbors, I'm Joe Merkel, still on there. One of the neighbors up in North Lakeport had asked about, would there be any way to put like a path in along Old Lake Shore? Because so many people walking from like the township park to the homes are walking like down the road into the middle of the road because there's no place for them to walk and there's not extensive berm. And the second thing, now that the school doesn't exist anymore, all the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, I'm sure would be interested in the old township hall for their meetings to keep them local. So if you can get me any kind of information on that, I'll get it out to
Have the
parents who
leaders
run the
call
club.
me and we can, work on dates or whatever. They have met there in the past, years ago, so.
Right.
Or periodically.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
but there's a lot of things that were being used, where they used the school for organizations. So I'll just start directing people your way.
Well, school things, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, we'll just see what we can handle, how much
Right.
we can, how many people or groups we can put in there, but school functions will go on to the new schools, right?
Right. But
Have
Boy
them
Scouts and
call
Girl
Have them call
Scouts is
us.
outside of that, so I'll let the parents know.
Yeah, have the leaders call me and we'll work on it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Aruna?
Yeah, every time I ride down the bike path, I keep on saying I gotta come to a meeting and address that. That bike path is probably the most unique and scenic section of the Burtchville Bay Trail. And I think all the people that were involved with the foresight and the perseverance to get that done should be commended in the past. And along with the township park, those two things have really added, I think, to the flavor and of the community and the desirability to live here.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, that bike path, you know, we did put the benches on. Of course,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
saw
some
some.
benches, we had some nice signs up there, and we were gonna landscape them and everything. And I'm sorry to say that I am really disappointed because the people just absolutely ruined it. We have one sign left out of the 6 signs that we put up. We can't even find them. In fact, Dusty today went over and pulled one out of somebody's backyard.
Yeah, vandalism, every community.
Yeah, they just ruin everything that's in there, and not to, you know, not that we don't want to do it and take care of it. You know, we were gonna plant some nice flowers around those posts and stuff with the little saying, you know, just little inspirational sayings on them and everything like that. Well, the first night we put them in, the next day, one was down, one was gone, you know, one of the signs. So
Just having it clean is enough, really.
yeah, well, we did have somebody, you know, have you noticed, we did clean it up and got all that brush back off the sides of it.
Oh, it's a good job.
So it looks, I think it looks pretty nice too, but I'm just sorry that we couldn't, you know, finish it and make it look nice for the people, you know, but.
Thank you for sharing that. But, and I bring this up quite regularly because a friend of mine who lives out near Wadhams and walks that trail, and he would rather drive up here and walk ours than any place else.
It's unique, there's nothing like that in the whole county.
Is there anybody else that would like to address the board?
I just drove through the cemetery today, and kudos to whoever's doing the good work out there. There's a lot of grass planted and some stones that were lined up and
we're trying.
Gravel and
we didn't quite have enough gravel in this year's budget to do the whole thing, but we did get some of it done. And we also, you know, while we're on the gravel, we also did some stuff up in the park too, in those roads, you know, in the roads that go through the park there. We had some real swales and holes in there, so we put, I don't know how many tons did we put in there.
I haven't driven
Yeah, we put quite a bit in there up there in the park too, so, you know, next year we'll keep trying to make it better.
Were those stones done by the people that own them, or were they just, they were done by us?
They're done by our...
No, the stones that were straightened,
Yeah.
they were done by, they were paid for by the people that own the stone.
Oh, okay.
And our fellow that does the foundations did the work.
Okay. There's been a lot of new grass planted out there, that's gonna look very
You know, there's gonna be more, there's, we found about, what, 12? Around 10 graves that are gonna be done, and I think Kevin, the landscape, is gonna do that this week. So.
Yeah, they're doing
They've
a good
already
job.
started.
Oh, they have started?
Started today.
Oh, they were there already? Oh,
Yeah, they've done,
huh?
there's quite a bit of it that's done
Oh, good.
already.
I
It's,
just called them today, so that's pretty good. That's good service.
Yeah, with the
Nice rain.
With the rain,
Nice rain.
it started off, it'll look great.
Well, anyone else wish to address the board? Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a second?
Or
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.